What if the reason that we get sick with physical symptoms is for the benefit of us? Now hear me out, I know it sounds weird, but what if it's our body working with us to help heal us? I know this is a weird concept, and I'm going to break it down in a way that explains it in an energetic way, in the realm of quantum physics, and that's what this video is going to be about today. We're going to talk about our physical symptoms, why we get sick, why we have these symptoms, the deeper meaning behind it, and how we can learn to communicate with our body better. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. This video is another spiritual vlog that I'm bringing for all of you, and I'm excited to dive into this information. A lot of you that have been following me, you know that I've dealt with physical symptoms, a lot of chronic pain, autoimmune. I'm much better now, but I've had my fair share of different kinds of physical ailments throughout my life. And last night I was experiencing some sort of really bad stomach ache, some kind of stomach bug. I don't know exactly what it was, and I was frustrated, right? I woke up this morning, I still felt sick to my stomach. I decided to rest, I took a bath, and I decided to get into meditation. And I was asking my body, I was like, did I eat something bad, or is this, an energetic cleansing experience that I'm having in my solar plexus? And I kept hearing both. And I was like, what do you mean both? That doesn't make sense to me. It's either one or the other. And I was being shown that it's also connected. Now, I'm not saying that we attract our own illness consciously or with our mind or our soul. I'm talking about the physical body. Our physical bodies have the mind of their own, right? I mean, there's so much going on within our physical body that we're not aware of, that we don't think about, right? The way that we just breathe, we pump blood, we make oxygen. If we cut our hand, we just let it heal. It does its thing. It has a mind of its own. And we're grateful for that, right? But let's take it a step further. Say you attract a virus or a bacterial infection. Now that virus or that bug, it radiates at a certain frequency. Or maybe I should say vibrates at a certain frequency. Because everything can be measured in energy, right? And we know that our bodies run at a certain frequency, and based off that frequency is what we attract into our life. So let's say this virus, is vibrating at a certain frequency, and our body inside we're dealing with fear and we're dealing with stress. And say that frequency is very similar to the virus. Now let's say our body, in an attempt for us to heal ourselves, attracts that virus in without our knowing. It's not our soul, it's not our mind, it's not our personality attracting this virus. It's our body doing it. And you're like thinking, well, why would my body attract a virus? Why would it cause more harm to me? But maybe your body has been trying to communicate with you, right? You've been stressed out, you've been worrying, and your body's saying, hey, Megan, well, use me for an example. I'm not feeling good. This is causing imbalance within me. I need your attention. And we're just like, yeah, like I'm just going to keep drinking caffeine. I'm going to keep working 60 hours a week. I'm going to stay in this toxic relationship. I'm going to ignore you, body. So our body freaks out and it's like, I need to wake Megan up. Like, I need to wake her up. I need to get her attention so that she can start taking care of herself. So what does the body do? Maybe the body attracts a virus. Maybe the body attracts a symptom. Maybe you're somebody that eats a lot of fried foods and processed foods, so it attracts heartburn, so that you get a clear communication that, oh, I can't eat this pizza, I can't eat this fried chicken, or my heart's going to hurt. And then you're starting to understand what's going on with your body. So it's like your body is attracting these symptoms to communicate with you, to wake you up. And these symptoms, whether it's heartburn or stomach upset or a migraine or inflammation, they're all there for the benefit of you. And I'm not saying I like being in pain. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, like, you should be grateful that you're in pain. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just encouraging you to take a step back and look at it from a broader perspective of, okay, my body's in pain. We know that when we're in pain, our body's communicating with us, right? Our body's trying to get our attention. It's like when we get a cold or a flu. When we get that type of, we'll call it a virus. I mean, it could be, a bug or whatever it is. When we get that invader and our body starts to reveal symptoms, the symptoms aren't caused by the virus. The symptoms are our body's way of expelling the virus, right? Of moving it out of the body. That's why we'll get a fever, because the body's trying to push the virus out. The virus doesn't cause symptoms. The virus doesn't want to be known. It wants to go unknown so it can live there and it can stay and it can make a happy home. But our body goes, no, I'm going to sweat you out, or we'll get like diarrhea. Same thing, pushing it out. We'll start to get really snotty and phlegmy and cough up phlegm because that's our body's way of getting this virus out of our body. So our body is making us hurt to make us feel better in the long run. When you get a cold and you're like, oh, this cold is making me feel sick. No, it's not really the cold. Your body's doing it to you. It's making you tired. Your body's making you tired so that your immune system can work harder to fight off these invaders. Our bodies are always working in our favor. That was something that really took me a long time to understand because through my chronic illness journey dealing with autoimmune and fibromyalgia and migraines and stomach issues and digestive issues, IBS, yeast infections, acne, you name it, I was always fighting with my body. I was always upset with it, frustrated, and I was like, why are you doing this to me? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Where did I go wrong in life? And the truth is, I didn't do anything wrong. Sure, I could put blame on myself, like, oh, well, I shouldn't have, drank all that caffeine when I was younger and ate all those processed foods. But I was doing the best that I could, and I didn't know any better. I didn't. I thought, well, they're doing it, and they're doing it, so it must be fine, And I don't blame myself. I don't blame anybody else around me. And I look at my body differently. And when we start to look at our bodies, like they're always in our favor. Even when we get sick or we have a symptom or we have a migraine, that they're trying to teach us, hey, I love you. I need more attention. I need to raise my frequency to enjoy my life better. Because you guys, when I started trying to find answers to get sick, I loved reading testimony stories of people that were really sick, like people on their deathbed or people that were fighting cancer or, serious autoimmune disorders. I loved reading about their success stories. And you know what all of them said? They were all grateful that they went through it. They were all happy and they wouldn't change it for the world because after they came out the other side, they looked at life differently. They enjoyed it and their vibration changed within their being. And I used to think that was insane. Like, how can you be grateful you went through this? Like, I always thought, I will never be grateful for this pain. I will never be grateful for this discomfort. I will never be grateful for this brain fog, for this neck pain and this back pain. But you guys, I sit here now, still experiencing some pain. I'm way better now. And I am so grateful I went through all of that. I am. Because I am in such a different place than I used to be. So I want to say that this is my belief. This is my theory. I'm not trying to push my belief on anybody at all. Take it if it resonates. Take it if it helps you on your path. That's why I made this channel. This is why I make these videos, is to help bring a new perspective and to help encourage you guys. But yes, I do believe that my body, not my soul, not my mind, not my personality, I believe that my body, even though they are all connected, my body did attract these illnesses and these hardships to bring me the life that I ultimately craved. Because my whole life I dealt with insecurities and I dealt with just being in a fear state and I hid everything. I hid it. I hated being vulnerable. I tried to just be this perfect person and for so long I was hiding so much of me. I didn't even know who I was. And what I wanted more than anything was to just be this confident, powerful woman in a beautiful, happy relationship with a healthy body and to be smart and to inspire people. And those are things I all craved, but I never thought I would get them. And if I wouldn't have gone through what I went through, all of that pain, I wouldn't be here today making this channel. I wouldn't be on camera. Are you kidding me? That terrified me. It still terrifies me sometimes. But I wouldn't have achieved all of this if I hadn't gone through that pain. I know it. To my core, I know it. So I want to encourage you to try, if you're dealing with any kind of physical symptoms, and you can do this with emotional or mental things as well, any kind of discomfort you're feeling in the body, look at it as your body trying to help you, trying to communicate to you. Because we spend our whole life, at least I know I did, I'm sure a lot of you, not knowing what our body was trying to tell us, not being able to build the relationship with ourselves, right? That self-love that we all crave, or that we all strive for. I didn't know how to connect to my body. I didn't know how to listen to it through meditation. And I'm still learning. But this is a process. It's a process. And it takes time to learn the communication. Learn how to communicate with your body and understand what it's saying, because it's a foreign language, you guys. I mean, at least that's how I feel when I started to learn what my body was saying and sit in the silence and try to open up to it and become really vulnerable and step out of my comfort zone. It was really tricky. It still is sometimes. Sometimes I still feel discomfort. I'm not saying that I just feel pain and I'm like, oh, I got you, body. I know what's up. It takes me some time, right? It's harder to get into that place of meditation and stillness when we're in pain, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. It's a challenge. And my heart goes out to any of you that are dealing with any kind of chronic conditions. And I want to leave it there. I want to leave it with one quote that I read the other day. I think it was on one of my oracle cards. And it was saying that there's basically different stages, right, to your spiritual growth. Throughout your life, you're used to playing victim and blaming others or blaming the world. You know, this made me sick, or this made me upset, or that person did this to me. And then you get in your next phase of your spiritual growth where you start to take responsibility for everything. So you kind of, in a way, at least that was for me, I started to put blame on myself. Like, oh, okay, I did this to me, or I attracted this, or I did that, and you start to blame. And that's not the point of this video. I want you to know. But I feel like that's a stage people go through. And then the next stage is where you don't blame anybody. You don't blame that person, you don't blame the world, you don't blame society, you don't blame yourself, you don't blame your mom, you don't blame your dad. And you get to this space of just realizing how everything's working in your favor. Everything is. And that's been such a mantra for me, because the more I say it and speak it out into existence, the more that clarity comes through as to how it is working in my favor. Because when I first started saying it, you guys, I didn't completely believe it. I wasn't like, oh yeah, the world's bending in my favor. I feel it. I didn't, but I knew deep down that everything was happening for a purpose. And I think a lot of you feel that way too. And if you use those words, the universe is bending in my favor, you start to realize it. Even with the things that cause you pain and frustration, you're like, oh, my body was crying out for help. My body wanted me to live a happier life. My body wants peace. Your body is searching for peace. And it might not search for it in the ways that you want it to come, but it is coming in the perfect way that you need. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I want to hear about your reflections on what I said, if you want to add anything to it, or if you have any questions. Even if you disagree, that's fine. You're welcome to. I just ask that you respect my energy and everyone's energy in the comment section. Just if you want to share, if you don't agree, just keep it peaceful. And I'm just sending lots of love and light to all of you, and I will see you next time.